Welcome to a new video on my home automation channel. I've received another product from Sonoff, or IT'd, and that's the Sonoff D1. I've received this product free of charge for this review video, so thanks a lot for IT'd for supplying this product for me. I believe this is a fairly new product. I've checked their website just a few days ago and it said that it is available for pre-order. And before I jump into the features, let's just quickly summarize what this product is. It is a Wi-Fi smart switch, but the reason it's called D1 because D stands for dimming. So this is the first dimmable smart switch from Sonoff. And as you can see on the back, it doesn't have any buttons or any sort of user interface. In fact, it doesn't even have indicator lights. And it is designed to be hidden within the wall socket behind the, let's say, the main switch. And even though I haven't received it, this comes with other accessories as well. So you can hide it within the wall switch, and then in front of it there is like a fascia frame and an RF control. Because besides this being on the Wi-Fi network or connected to the Wi-Fi network, it also has an RF receiver as well. So it is designed to go with an RF switch. So I'm just going to leave some pictures from the website, and it looks like that the RF switch has quite a few different buttons to switch the device, to switch the light on and switch it on, off, and also different buttons to increase and decrease the brightness. So it's not like the rotary kind of old style dimmer. But even if you don't have the RF button, you can still use it as a, just like a regular Wi-Fi switch and only control it from your smartphone. I think it's probably still safe to say that this is a, very, very new product. And maybe I would probably even say that to some extent it could be still under development, because after looking at IT's website and testing out some of the functionality, it looks like that some of them are not working at the moment. Especially, I was able to control this device through Google Home, but for example, Google Home didn't allow me to set the brightness through voice commands. And also when I was making various changes and I was setting up this device, sometimes I got error messages saying that the whatever operation couldn't be carried out, or the operation failed, whereas it would just work fine when I tested just a few minutes after. So yeah, just bear this in mind. I think I come to these details in the video. When you receive the product, you receive it in a really small box. It's not a big, it's not a big product at all. Of course, it needs to fit in a wall socket. And I just want to mention the specs because, of course, it's multi-voltage, so it works from 100 to 240 volts. And it says that for incandescent lights, you can control lights up to 200 watts, and for LEDs, up to 150 watts. Also in the box, just like other Sonoff devices, you receive a quality check pass leaflet, and you also get an instruction manual which comes in multiple languages. It's not awfully big, but it just describes the basics. You can see the RF button here, but there are more information online, and of course you get the link to the user manual here. So I think it's better if you read the manual on your computer. And one more reason I would say that this product is in progress, because as you can see, it says Sonoff D1, but it also says DIY. And if you remember, DIY is the word that they use for devices that support flashing alternative firmware and doing some other stuff outside the eWelink app. And there is nothing in this box. There are no jumpers, just like the jumpers provided for some of the other products. I've actually taken this unit apart. So you unscrew this and then you lift the cover. And under this slot that you can see here, there is a small switch which says OTA. So maybe that is going to be the switch between the DIY mode and the non-DIY mode. But it is not mentioned in any of the documentation online, and I haven't tested that. But that could be something which is coming in the future in future firmwares. In order to test this device, I created this very simple contraption for the sake of this test. So as you can see, I have one lead which ends in a pigtail, so that's going to go into the mains, and that is connected to the live in and the common neutral. So that's the wire. And I've also have a lamp socket on the other side, which is connected to the live out, and it's also connected to the mains neutral. So that's the other wire. So it's very simple. There is no indicator light on this unit, so I'm just I'm just going to place it in the corner. And I have a couple of bulbs I'm going to test this with. Testing this product about maybe 5 or 10 years ago would have been really easy, because then we most probably used filament or incandescent lights, which are always very easy to dim. But now, actually, I was struggling to find a filament bulb in my home, but I managed to find one. And I have a couple of other bulbs. So I have 2 different LED bulbs, and also I have a fluorescent light from IKEA. And I have to admit that I haven't really paid attention to whether my LED lights are dimmable, because I don't have any other dimmers around my house. And as you can see, actually none of these are dimmable, so they are not really good for this test. And this is why I wanted to find the old incandescent light, just to show you that it, the dimming works, and also see how it works with this fluorescent light. Again, I'm not really sure if this is representative. I would have assumed that if I got it from IKEA, it's not really the cheapest possible product, but maybe there are dimmable versions of fluorescent lights as well. So let's see how it looks like. I've done the pairing. The only difference with this product as opposed to others, that you don't have an indicator light. So when you power it up, the light which is connected starts breathing, and that's indicates that it's in pairing mode. So you can just click on plus and then quick pairing, and then follow the usual procedure. So here you see the D1, that's what I named it. It's in my list of devices, and I can turn it on from here. And as you can see, there is a nice fade in as the light comes on. And if I turn it off, there is also like a nice fade out. It works really well with this incandescent light. If I go into the details screen, I see a symbol of a light. I see the main switch. I can turn it on. The background comes to blue as opposed to black to show that it's on. And I also get a slider where I can control the brightness of the lamp. The camera is set to auto exposure at the moment, so it's not going to give you a true indication how much I can control the lightness, but I think you can probably tell from all the other devices how much illumination they get. So if I bring it all the way down to 1%, you see that the filament is just barely glowing. So it works excellent with the old incandescent light, but I think we kind of expected that. And before we go ahead, let's just look at the different features that we get with the D1. So I've already mentioned the brightness control and the main on-off switch. Other than that, we have the share button on the lower left. So that allows us to share this device with other users, so family members and anyone else for that matter. The next one, or the next 2, are the usual functions that we see for most of the devices. So first of all, we have schedules, where we can set in a month or a day or an hour and a minute when we want this device to turn on. We can also specify the weekly cycle and the state we want the device to come on. So you have these where, let's say you always want a line to come on at 6 and then turn off at 8. That's what you can set here. The next one is, and I believe you can have up to 8 of these on and off schedules. The next one is the timer, where you can set a manual countdown, and at the end of the countdown, the device either turns on or off. So this is not an automatic function. So for example, if you want a 30-minute timer, and at the end of the 30 minutes, the device should turn off, then you set 30 minutes off and then save. Let me change the brightness. So besides schedule and a timer, we have another function here, which is new to this D1 device, which is called the scene. And what you get here is like presets brightnesses. So you have the night light, which is 5%. You have working, which is 20%. Reading 50, and bright is 100. Don't ask me why it's these names and these percentages. You can't change them, and well, that's pretty much what you get. But I think it's like, at least it gives you a variation. You don't have to mess around with the slider to get to a particular brightness. Let me set it back to working, which is 20. And as you can see, there is like a slow fade in, fade out whenever you change the brightness. So these are all the functions that you get on the main page. If you double click on the 3 dots on the upper right, you can go into the settings, and here you can rename the device. We can see the latest firmware is 3.4.0. Just like with the L1 LED strip, we can create classes. So you can group the multiple D1 devices together and the state of them will get automatically synced. So again, if you have a big room with a lot of like dimmers, you can just put all of them into a class, and if you turn one of them, all the others will turn on. You can enable or disable a LAN feature. I'm not sure why you would disable that. You have power on state, which the power that the device should pick up when it's turned on, or when it receives power. And you also have a set brightness range. What this option gives you is you can set the minimum brightness of your device, because there are certain lights which wouldn't be able to be dimmed all the way down to, let's say, 1%, because they start to flicker or they start to set some noise. So you can set that minimum value here. So when on the main page you go to 1%, it's actually not 1%, it's going to be whatever minimum that you set here. So besides this, you get the fact sheet from the model, and that's pretty much it. This is what you get. In the meantime, I changed to a fluorescent light, so let's see how that behaves with the D1 dimmer. So it comes on, that's full brightness, and as you can see, there wasn't a nice fade, there was a little bit of flicker. And if I try to dim it down, well, first of all, it doesn't, if I go down to 1%, it starts to dim down, but it gives some noise. And as you can see, it doesn't go sort of like minimum brightness that you expect. Maybe it goes down to 20% for this particular fluorescent light. So I would say most probably this is not the best candidate for dimming. And unfortunately, I have to say that's probably the case for my other LED bulbs as well. I've already tested both of them, and as you can see, that's this filament bulb at 1%. It's definitely dimmer than it's in 100%, but it has a weird noise. So I don't think this is probably designed for dimming either. But if I take it down all the way to 100, then it's nice and bright, and the sounds disappear. A couple of hours have passed and it's dark outside, hence the slightly yellow tint. And I've gone to my local home improvement shop and I bought this Osram, it says dimmable LED light bulb. And it wasn't cheap, it was like probably 6 or 7 euros. Okay, price is not everything, but it says dimmable and it's a non-brand. So this is, if something works, this is supposed to work. And if I turn it on, it comes on with a little bit of flicker. And if I start dimming it down, 76%, nothing really changed. That's 39%. And there is like this unnervy buzzing sound. If I take it all the way down, it's dim, but it's definitely buzzing. And 1%, okay, it's a little bit less buzzing. At least it's not flickering. So it's dimming, but it's not the type of sort of end result that I would happy to live with. So first of all, I don't like the flicker. I don't like the fact that it makes this funny sound. And quite honestly, I don't know what else to test. This is supposed to be a light which is dimmable. I don't have any dimming circuits, unfortunately, that I can verify it with. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Just to make sure that I'm not doing something stupid, I've gone and I've checked the listing, which is at the moment, if it says anything about the light bulb, but it doesn't say anything about the lights. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the deal is here. So frankly, I won't be able to tell you what type of LED bulbs to buy which works reliably with this D1. Maybe there are a lot of different models, but I haven't managed to pick anything which works for me. There was something else mentioned on the listing that it says that with this D1 you can set up some schedules that, for example, the bedroom light would come on at a certain time in the morning at only 40%, so you don't wake up at full brightness. Which you can do, but it's not how you would think you would be able to do. Something should turn on and off automatically. You would come to the schedules. But then if you want to add a new schedule, you can see that you can only set the state. So that's not going to work because they have put it in a slightly different place. First of all, you have to come out. If you go to the scenes, you can create a scene where let's say the scene condition is a timer. So again, you can set up at like 7 a.m. Let's say I don't want to, it's Saturday and Sunday, sorry, repeat only on the work days. And so that's, or you can set it to sunrise and sunset as well. So the condition is a timer condition every weekday at 7 a.m. And then we also set up the perform. And we say that, okay, I want to switch the unit on, and you have the brightness available as well. So you can set up a scene where, okay, your light is going to come on at 7 a.m. but only at 13%. And then later you can set up another scene where it says, okay, 50 minutes later I can increase it to 50, and then, 8 o'clock when you should really be going, then it's going to be on full brightness. And also you should be able to control this via Google Home and Alexa as well. So, hey Google, turn off D1. So that was my review of the D1. I'm afraid it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I would be surprised if they have designed this product without LED bulbs in mind. It was just a little bit unfortunate that even if I purchased the one which says dimmable, it wasn't working very satisfactory with this device. This is how much I managed to cover this time. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video.